Well, this is the Joint Biosecurity Centre. It's a body that looks at all of this, and they've been able to forge relationships with the medical experts in all of the different countries and get into the data in much more granular detail than was available before. And that's enabled us to look at the islands and say, okay, actually if an island's got a high rate but the mainland's got a lower rate, can we just remove an island, or conversely add an island without having to do that? But this is data that simply wasn't available at this quality and of analytical surveillance before. Well, yes, of course, in Scotland, they, with the example with Greece, took the whole country and put it into quarantine. This level of information prevents us from having to do that. What Wales did, I understand, was just looked at the cases coming back and measured it upon that basis. What we're doing is both taking the cases coming back, thanks to the monitoring we're doing of people who are returning and NHS test and trace, but combining that with the information that we're getting out of in-country, or in Ireland in this case, in islands, in order to make sure that we've got the best possible data, and we're sharing that with all 4 countries in the United Kingdom. A lot of the problem is people say, why don't you just do X or Y? Right at the beginning, people said, why don't you just put a temperature gun at someone's forehead and you'll know whether they're safe? Answer, that doesn't tell you much about coronavirus. And similarly, those tests on day 0 when people arrive doesn't tell you enough to be certain that somebody can't quarantine. In fact, it could lead to quite a problem. So we've got to find the things which actually work, and I'm very keen and am working with the likes of Heathrow and others to try to put the systems in place that the scientists can sign off on. I'll take all of my advice from the medical experts, and I'm not going to second guess them. It's for them to tell us when they believe the thresholds are being measured. And of course, it's not just cases per 100,000, as we've been saying all along, and I've published. There are a whole range of different things included: how well people test and trace, how many tests they do. The UK now does sort of Europe leading in terms of the number of tests per day available, trajectory, direction of travel, and so on and so forth. So I'll wait for the medical experts to tell us about that.